Today I want to talk about why I think pain is beautiful.
This world shall know pain.
This might sound like a very controversial topic, and this might sound strange to some of you because most of our lives are lived in a way that we want to avoid pain and we try to feel pleasure, to feel good, to feel happiness in order to not feel pain, because there's this misconception that there's the scale, and on the one hand side there is pain and on the other hand side there is happiness, and we should try to move from here to here. While I think being happy, or at least being at peace, like I have already made a video about that, you can check it out somewhere here. Well, I think that this should definitely be a part of your life that you should focus on. In the end, we all try to just feel good and live our lives in the best way possible. I don't think that pain is a bad thing. I think actually pain is a really good thing and it can help a lot of people. If you use pain right, and if you try to use pain as a driving force rather than sitting at home and trying to feel sorry for yourself, you don't really cope with your pain in a good way, but you just let it happen and you just suffer without doing anything about it, then pain cannot help you. I think pain is a really strong driving force and it can help you level up so much in life, because there are usually two events which help people grow. The one event is being in a lot of pain because you don't want to stay there, right? Jordan Peterson or someone said that if you're going through hell, then you have to keep going because you don't want to stay in hell. So if you are in pain, you have to work and you have to try to improve your life and your circumstances in order to feel better. So that is a really strong force in order to live a better life, and also in retrospect live a happier life, because there are so many people who have told their stories, their crazy business transformations, or how they from broke and almost homeless to being I am a millionaire. When you watch these stories, most of them say that they started by being in a lot of pain and not wanting to stay there, and therefore I think pain can be a good thing because it can be a driving factor. And also I think pain is beautiful because I don't think pain is bad. I don't think pain is the exact opposite to happiness. I think that pain is actually something that can give you a lot of happiness, in a way that if you are going through hard times and if you have the right mindset, then you can still be happy. I want to explain this to you with a small example. Just a few days ago I talked with a really close friend. Sometimes it's really hard because you're still in school. You have to come home from school, do your homework, and then he goes to volleyball practice, and then he has to come home again and cook his own food and still do homework and go to bed late and stuff. I could totally relate to that because while I was still in school, I had like almost exactly the same day. Like I would wake up at 7, I would just eat and go to school, and I would be at school until 5. Then I would sit in the library, do a little bit of schoolwork, then go to volleyball practice, be there for like 1.5 to 2 hours, come home. Then sometimes my parents had already cooked food for me, but a lot of times I had to cook the food for myself. Then I even had to prepare food for the next day, sometimes even like study a bit or do my homework. The entire day just felt so stressful and so painful because I never had time to be by myself and just replenish my energy and my resources. By the end of the day, and like looking back, these were happy times, even though I didn't really enjoy it back then, and even though I felt like this was painful because the entire day was just occupied. It prepared me for the life that is coming after school, and I was really like grateful for it, because when I'll be working a job in the future, then I'm already prepared for that. And another story that I can tell in this perspective was also when I, for example, at the beginning of 2021, I was like planning my entire days when we were in lockdown here in Germany. We had a lockdown, we couldn't go to school, and I was like planning almost like every minute of the day. Like I would say, okay, I wake up at this time, then I train for this and this time, then I have breakfast and I shower here, then I have my online classes, then I have to prepare for this and this and this, and then I also had to fit in like reading and self-improvement and all this stuff. By the end of the day, I was just fully worn out. I was completely done because my brain was working the entire time. I was starting the day by working out, so my body was already kind of broke. Then I had to immensely focus for the rest of the day when I was in online school, and then when I had to study for different subjects, and then I was reading, and then I was watching YouTube videos, or I watched the Skillshare class and making notes. This was really hard. At the end of the day, I was completely KO, but it felt good. Like I felt really good. It's probably the time this year where I felt best because I was just doing so many things, and I really had to push myself through this pain, through not procrastinating and just giving in and lying back. This has really helped me. That's why I think that the pain is beautiful, because our life is way too easy. I really inspire to to live a life that is hard, that I have a life where I always take the hard choices and where I have to go through pain, because for me that sounds great. So I want to do it because I know that this will teach me some valuable lessons. I know that I will get to be in touch with myself and I will get to know my character way better than if I would just live a normal life where I'm always in comfort and I don't have to go out of my comfort zone. I don't have to push myself too hard. I just relax, you know. I don't want that. When I watch YouTube videos of entrepreneurs or of people who work really hard, they wake up at 5, then they go to the gym, then they work on their business the entire day. They don't really have any fun. They don't really have any pleasure in life. I get really excited to do this once I don't live at home anymore, because that's exactly how I want to live. I want to go through this pain because I know in the future my life won't always be painful when I do this. But in the future I will really appreciate it that I have gone through this pain, that I know what it feels like. As I said, if you're going through pain, you feel that it's worth it and you're doing it for something you love. Like for example, as I told with school, where I would go to volleyball afterwards and stuff. If you do it because you love it and you're exhausted at the end of the day, I feel like that's a good trade-off. If you get uncomfortable and if you would just want to lay back and relax, you're still doing it. You're still working the entire week, the entire day on your business or whatever it is that you want to do. I really get excited to do this because, as I said in this video, I really don't view pain as a bad thing. I see it as a learning opportunity. As I've said, our life is way too easy the way it is right now. I have just watched the video of Joe Elliott. I will put it in the video description. In today's life, the pain we have to face, it isn't really that bad, right? It's maybe a little psychologically or physically when we're in the gym, when we're lifting heavy weights or stuff. Back in the days when people were still cavemen or when people were farmers and they had to live in the Middle Ages, their lives probably were a lot more painful because they had to fight for their survival every single day. We have become really weak as a society, and as men, we don't go through this kind of pain anymore, and that's why I think pain is a growing opportunity, and you can either let the pain control you or you can say, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna push through this pain and I'm gonna come out of it at the end feeling amazing and feeling so good because I've learned and I have grown because of this pain, because I wanted to get out of there. That's why I think you should try to make your life harder in a way, and you should try to not to avoid pain. You shouldn't pray for having less pain in life. You should try to become stronger, so whenever the challenges in your life will be there, that you can push through it. Life isn't gonna get easier, you're just getting stronger. And I know this sounds super cliche, but that's true, that's the way it is, right? There's this quote, I have it here on my phone, it's from Alexis Carrel. He said that man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he's both the marble and the sculpture. I think that's really the point I want to make in this video. In order to remake yourself and build something greater, there will always be pain, and you shouldn't run away from it, but you should embrace it, and you should try to, in a way, make your life more painful and harder and try to do the shit that feels uncomfortable, because that's what's gonna make you grow and it's gonna help you live a better life. As I've said before, when I told you about days where I would be occupied the entire day and I didn't have any time to myself, I was happy back there. I feel like that's also why a lot of successful people, they work a lot. Everybody would probably trade their time if they had to choose between working and doing something fun like drinking with their friends, going on holidays, traveling around the world and stuff. I think almost everybody would prefer that to working, right? The reason why they do it is because they know that it is not painful and it actually makes them happy. And we look back at the Middle Ages, or like before we had the internet and the Industrial Revolution, I think most people weren't depressed because they didn't have time to be depressed, because they just had to do so much. They had to constantly fight for their survival and go through pain, and therefore they didn't get depressed. And by the end of the day, if you can go through pain, if you can endure this pain, this will become not a source of suffering but a source of happiness. I know this video is really abstract, as I said, and is probably hard to understand, but this was just a message I was trying to get out, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you could understand the point I'm trying to make. Then let me know in the comments what you think about this topic. Do you think pain is a good or a bad thing? Do you think that we should make our lives harder on purpose so we can grow and we can learn and we can actually experience happiness from pain? Or do you think that we should try to avoid pain and suffering, such as in the way that Buddhism says it, that life is suffering and we should try to avoid it? I would like to know your opinion in the comments, and if you have watched until this point, write money in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.